Once we demonstrate respect and we've begun to recruit more teachers again, then we need to focus on the retention piece. How do we keep them? Maintaining a strong and supportive learning environment means retaining high-quality teachers in the classrooms. School districts are increasingly challenged to retain their teachers, and many districts this year, especially as late as September and even later than that, we're still struggling to fill openings. We offer several solutions for legislators to consider in order to support teachers and the students in the classrooms. The first in retention is that we believe the state must create a learning environment where class sizes enable teachers to connect more one-on-one with students. Class size and student-teacher ratios do matter with regard to student performance, and Indiana seems to have lost ground and interest in knowing where it stands with regard to quality student-to-teacher interaction and attention. We need to conduct a statewide audit of class sizes in Indiana public schools, a real audit, one that only counts teachers that are assigned students, not an audit that includes anyone who's licensed that's in the building in order to provide a lower teacher ratio to teacher to student ratio number. Next, let's stop the over-testing and the misusing of test scores. The overemphasis on standardized tests and the amount of classroom time allocated to the wide array of assessments is detrimental to student learning because it depletes valuable instructional hours. Test anxiety that students experience has increased due to the weight put on these assessments. Indiana can do better, and Indiana can provide a greater balance between student instructional time and testing. Indiana should offer greater local flexibility in development and implementation of student assessments. And Indiana needs to continue to study alternative assessments, such as formative ones, something other than the I-STEP. We also believe that we should eliminate high-stakes consequences on teacher evaluations. The pressures linked to standardized testing create unreasonable workloads for teachers and serve as disincentives to take assignments in hard-to-staff schools. Attrition in schools facing the A to F pressure is high. This worsens the teacher shortage dilemma. And because in low-performing schools it's difficult to hire anyway, this additional pressure makes it even more challenging, so that when those schools do hire effective teachers, in many cases they're leaving for better options elsewhere. So let's place a moratorium on student data for high-stakes consequences linked to teacher evaluations during this transition to new standards and assessments. Let's maintain local control in the development and implementation of teacher performance evaluation models. Once teachers have been recruited into the classroom, we have an obligation to ensure that they have professional development opportunities throughout their career. In 2001, the budget provided $20.5 million for professional development. That was 2001. In 2004, that amount was reduced to $14 million, where it held until 2010, where a reduction then took place and brought it down to $5.5 million. Ultimately, then, in 2012, the General Assembly completely eliminated professional development funding altogether. What does that say to us as educators? We believe that we must create a state grant program administered by the Department of Education for professional development opportunities that relate to very important student learning. Let's create incentives for national board certification. You heard me talk about this last year. We're still calling for that. National board certification is the most respected professional credential someone in my field can attain. There are currently more than 110,000 nationally board certified teachers across this country. It is a performance-based and peer-reviewed process. And while neighboring states offer incentives and enjoy national certified teachers by the thousands, Indiana has 169. 169 total national board certified teachers in our state. And that places us 43rd in the country. 43rd. Let's create a long-term commitment encouraging Hoosier educators to pursue national board certification and then leverage those experts in districts to raise the practice of teaching district by district. The goal would be to have at least one nationally board certified teacher in every public school building in Indiana by the year 2025. The state would commit to provide National Board Certification fee subsidies for up to 200 teachers each year for the next 10 years. Let's make that commitment. Let's provide each successful candidate for National Board Certification an annual salary stipend of $2,000 each year over the life of their 10-year license. That's 10-year, Y-E-A-R. In return, National Board Certification will agree, those candidates would agree to serve as mentors in the school districts they serve. Let's also provide some mentoring opportunities for folks who are new to the profession. Mentoring reduces teacher attrition rates when compared to teachers not receiving any support. Student achievement can be positively impacted by teacher mentor programs as well, because students of teachers with mentor hours compared to those who do not have any mentor assistance, those students have higher gains in math and reading than students of teachers who don't have as many hours with a mentor or a coach. Let's recreate a state-funded 2-year mentor program, assisted and administered by the Indiana Department of Education through its outreach division, and in which mentor teachers are compensated for their work and also trained to serve in that role. Teachers and education support professionals are feeling the financial pinch every day as well. Many are reaching into their own pockets to buy supplies, classroom materials, etc. And when you couple this with rising healthcare costs, it's almost overwhelming. As school employees continue to face premium increases to their health insurance plans as providers raise costs, some corporations have seen more than 40% increases in 1 year to maintain the same amount of coverage. While many states have seen a slowdown in annual premium increases, Indiana is among a handful of states facing steady rising costs. So we must consider increasing the cap that school districts can pay for school health care from the 112% of the cost of a state employee plan to 120%. We should restrict counting an employee's health savings account towards that cap, and we should only count the teachers just for the purposes of calculating that cap, just the teachers. Finally, let's ensure that after educators have spent their entire careers to improve student learning, that they can count on a strong pension and retirement benefits. When policymakers ensure a pension for public employees, including teachers, they are making a statement to those employees that they're important, that their work is valued, and that they are worth the investment. By all accounts, Indiana's public retirement system, or NPERS as it's often referred to, is in good shape and is used as an example nationally on how to run a public pension plan. This plan is well funded at 80% and considered fiscally sound by many experts, including NPERS itself. The idea that the state can no longer afford public pensions for its employees is a manufactured crisis. There is no urgency for this draconian change. This system is not broken, and there is no looming danger. Efforts to transition Indiana's current hybrid defined benefit annuity retirement benefit for teachers to a 401k style defined contribution plan are misguided, and they will only exacerbate, not solve, the Indiana teacher shortage. So instead, let's focus on real solutions by providing a true cost of living adjustment for retirees rather than a 13th check, by offering a catch-up provision to help elevate pension benefits for those who have been in retirement for a long time to improve their purchasing power as retirees, and by ensuring that Indiana's plan remains a hybrid plan rather than moving to a defined contribution plan, which would lower the benefits to retirees. Let's maintain defined benefit plans for new teachers as an incentive to remain in the profession, rather than adding to the problem of the teacher shortage by worsening the retirement benefits.